Hello everyone! Blue Star Saber here once again to discuss My Hero Academia with Luckychi 7. Say hello, Luckychi.
What's going on, guys?
See, I apologize if there's any fans in the background. It's very hot here in the UK, so try to cool down. But yeah. But anyway, let's discuss.
I'm joking. It's hot over here too, so feeling beautiful.
Yeah. Which today we'll be discussing the 316th chapter of My Hero, Luckychi. I believe you've already discussed this chapter a little bit yesterday.
So, for those of you who don't know, I actually used to be one of the first people that reviewed the chapters like early on, as early as the sports festival, and then, well, joint training happened, and
so yeah,
let's just say it's not that I got tired of doing live reactions. I was just feeling kind of out of it after joint training happened. And I was like, I'll still talk about it, but it just won't be in a weekly live reaction format that I usually do. And since chapter 306, my mind has kind of been swinging the other direction. And especially after 315, I was like, well, it has been over close to 100 chapters.
So you're thinking, you know what? Let's see, it's been nearly 100 chapters. Why don't I do it for the 100 chapter mark and say, like, this is the 100 chapter anniversary return of my Luckychi streams? Is that what you were thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Well, funny enough, funny enough, the week that you've, come back to streaming the chapters is also the same week the anime has finished the joint training arc.
Huh. Timing.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's...
It comes back full circle. Joint training where the manga takes me out, and joint training for the anime. Yeah. Okay. I guess I can come back.
Well, at the very least, now you can probably start watching all those joint training episodes, and we can finally start discussing them together. Granted, I've still got 3 episodes left to review, and then, and then we can have that, joint training mid-season 5 review, I guess.
True.
But yeah. But anyway, we're not here to discuss the anime of My Hero Academia, we're here to discuss the manga, so time to get back. Let's see, which, despite the title of my chapter stream, it's your turn, Midoriya. It's actually, the chapter's name is actually The Next. Let's see. But anyway.
Well, actually, no. If you go by the official translations from
yeah. You should probably go to the official translations because
if you go to Manga Plus, like it'll be there.
Manga Plus.
Yep, the chapter title is Your Turn. If you want to go by the official ones.
Let's see. I can find that Fizz Jump, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I can find it on the Shonen Jump website. Let's see, hold on. Here it is. My Hero Academia. Let's see. If you can, you can read it online for free and all that stuff. Let's see, there at least the last few chapters, but let's see, the rest you'll need to pay if you become a member of, Viz and all that stuff. So yeah. So anyway, the chapter begins with, where it left off, where Hawks has just catched Lady Nugget, but Endeavor's arrived, saying that they got word from, All Might. But he's apologizing for being late due to the fact that, well, it's raining and his quirk doesn't work well in the rain. I suppose you could say that's like Endeavor's kryptonite.
Huh, ironically, yeah. I think I might have pointed that out in my analysis video. I was like, that kind of makes sense. I mean, fire and water don't exactly mix well together. Yep. Normally, they don't mix well together.
Well, at least we now know what Endeavor's kryptonite is, of sorts. But yeah. I'm sure I don't need to explain what kryptonite is to our viewers.
Hey, if you ask me, just find the water villain and have him go off against Endeavor. Yeah. Easy victory.
So yeah, let's see. All for one saying, "Hey Marvel, can I borrow Hydro Man, please?"
Oh my god. No, Namor.
Namor's more of an anti-hero, isn't he?
That's true. That's true. He is.
Granted, given the events of Avengers versus X-Men, that might be a questionable thing, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you know. Let's see. For those who do not know, in the comics, let's see, the Avengers, let's see, fought the X-Men for like the Phoenix, let's see, thing. You know, the stuff that always happens to Jean Grey in the movies. And let's just say Namor attacked Wakanda, which might be what they're leading up to with the Black Panther 2 movie.
Which is going to be a little interesting how they're going to tackle that. But, you know.
Yeah, let's see. Would they make it as, let's see, irredeemable as Namor did in the comics? I don't know. Let's see. But yeah, but let's just say those two do not, let's see. Namor and Black Panther, those two in the comics do not like each other. And that's an understatement. But anyway. Let's see. But anyway, Hawks is, of course, let's see, captured Lady Nugget, but his wings are still not up for flying just yet, and he's still falling. However, Midoriya, using the Black Whip in a sort of Spider-Man web shooting way, gets to stick onto Hawks as he lifts him up and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, commenting and I think shouting to let's see, Hawks about what's going on in the situation, about Lady Nugget and the quirk, the explosive thing and all that stuff. Anyway, Hawks tries to introduce himself to Lady Nugget, saying how he's her replacement and stuff, and tries to get her to reveal information about All for One and all that stuff. So let's see, sweating about how since he's fought Midoriya, she should realize it's not too late to throw in the towel and all that stuff. Telling that she is still a hero. You know, about how she's Lady Nugget. And you finally get to see her, I think, opening her eyes, I guess. Well, I think it's like with the glimmer of light kind of image. Where she hears the words replacement from the Safety Commission. But she's commenting about how is it that both Hawks and Midoriya, particularly Hawks, who's probably done some of the same dirty stuff that she's had to do, how is he still able to have hope in their eyes and all that stuff? Let's see. And we get a bit of a flashback of a young Lady Naga of when she was idolizing being a hero and all that stuff. And then she shouts, within 2 months, she's supposed to bring Midoriya to the mansion in Hasbro Woods. We'll get to that in a bit later. But she, just as Midoriya and Hawks have rescued her. Apparently, it's not just her. He has reached out to some others. So we're getting confirmation that All for One is, besides the villains that we've seen break out of prison, which was some of the Vanguard, Action Squad, Stain, and Overhaul, we've got a bunch of other top villains that we haven't even seen yet who are broken out.
I make the argument that maybe we've seen them, we just don't know who they are. That's the only thing I can go off with. Is that okay? Some of these we might have seen in the background, but
or Shillarettes, but either way, we're getting more confirmation of the other 10,000 escaped convicts besides, the imprisoned members of the Vanguard Action Squad, such as Muscular and Moonfish, Overhaul, Stain, Lady Nugget, and those lot. But so he's reached out to those. So it looks like he's gathering his forces again. Possibly, maybe even the followers he had before All Might beat them all and damaged him.
Well, All Might's gone. Let's raise the morale a bit more. That's the analogy I can come up with.
But so anyway, she ends up asking the replacement. How is it that he's still able to have the hope of look in his eyes and stuff, despite everything that's gone through? And Hawks replies how he wasn't alone, with a sort of image of him holding Endeavor. I'm not sure if that's supposed to imply that he had his idol Endeavor to look up to, or was it possibly his mother, maybe, supporting him?
I think it was Endeavor, because if you look at the panel with Hawks as a kid, you see that he's holding the Endeavor plushie, so it's kind of showcasing that he's always looked up to him, and that's what I got out of that panel. But that's my interpretation.
That's very interesting, given the fact that it's not until like the pro hero arc that he finally actually has a conversation with Endeavor. Things, but yeah. But let's see. Hawk says that he's also very optimistic to a fault, which let's see. I mean, that doesn't really. I would not really what I expected him to say, but
I don't know. See, I don't know if I'd call Hawks optimistic, but you know,
I guess let's see. Even despite his like bit of grey area in the moves kind of thing, understanding that the world's not black and white, he still remains rather be an optimistic thing, I guess.
True.
I think he still wants to believe in good in the world and all that stuff. That's probably what I have to take in it. Anyway, Endeavor brings Overhaul down, asking Deku if there's anyone else besides him. But Overhaul's just ranting about this wasn't the deal. Let's see. He wasn't supposed to get caught. As he goes and pleads, take me to the boss. Because he's got to tell him he's sorry. Let's see. Midoriya finally starts talking to her. It says, and it says the one thing that I think we've all expected, we've probably been expecting Midoriya to say to Overhaul is about. Let's see. Does he remember what he did to Eri? However, Overhaul, let's see, not thinking about the bad things he does with her, thinking like with Eri, he could,
So yeah, with I know I'm going to go into what I mentioned during my analysis video, but that automatically does showcase that okay, not much has changed with Overhaul then, based on that. I mean, yeah, you could say like yeah, he was going through a mental breakdown and everything after what Shigaraki did to him, but based on what he's saying here, not much really changed.
Yeah, but Midoriya goes like, if you want to say sorry, he says if he's willing to do the same to Eri, or well, I guess it depends on the translation because one says if only you could have the same things to like Eri and all that stuff. But here he says but in his translation, it's implying that if you're willing to say this, if you apologize to Eri and all that stuff, he will honor his deal of Lady Nugget's place. So it seems like this possibly implies that Eri could either possibly restore like the boss to Overhaul, maybe possibly restore Overhaul's arms, though I have a feeling that it's probably going to be more of the former really rather than Overhaul's arms, just because you know how dangerous Overhaul is with his quirk. But I don't know, this is just like anyway. But anyway, we'll get more to this discussion a bit later. But anyway, All Might arrives from the damaged car asking if Midoriya is okay and all that stuff. So yeah, he's managed to, granted, so he's managed to shade off those villains that he seems to have intimidated from before, though.
Well, no, All Might Death, that's no joke.
Let's see that All Might Death's there, but yeah. Let's see. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get to see a little bit more of that, but on the other hand, it shows that he was able to escape from it and show just even without his powers, he's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually totally fine with that. Truth be told.
Yeah, but yeah. Let's see. Endeavor telling All Might that Lady Nugget and Jutsu Chursuke in custody. He immediately asks to get word to the cops and to call for medical aid for Lady Nugget. Let's see, Hawk saying that Midoriya is badly hurt too and all that stuff. But Midoriya is just thinking of what All For One did to Lady Nugget, and it's like, you could just tell that he's determined to capture now.
Yeah.
Anyway, it cuts to black, and I'm assuming that 2 months have passed or something, I at least assume.
Yeah, see that's what confused me a little bit when I was doing my analysis. I was like, okay, like the transition when you go from All For One to this, it's like, okay, so is this like immediately after you take Lady Nagant, or is this like how much time has passed? That's what confused me.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been really helpful with that page with the top panel with that blank space. In this, you could just have the words 2 months later.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that could have been very helpful to give the like a hint and all that stuff. But yeah.
It could have, yeah.
But yeah. But anyway, we see Hawks, Best Genius, and Endeavor all preparing to go. Let's see, it's commenting about. Let's see, Hawks saying good luck to everyone, and Genius to say be cautious. While let's see, Endeavor says to Deku, don't be reckless. As we go to Harbor Woods, in which those who may remember from the My Itzy Villain Academia or Meta Liberation Army arc is the former hideout of that creature ejection clan that the League of Villains killed while scavenging for supplies and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, it seems All for One has used it as a meeting point. But okay, fair enough. The League of Villains would probably tell him about it, I guess. It's like again. So yeah, but it seems that besides Midoriya entering the house, followed by Endeavor, it seems. I'm trying. Let me just get the team name. Let's see.
It's the Creature Rejection Clan.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about. I'm talking about a superhero team.
Oh, okay. So you've got
the Lurkers. The Lurkers, I believe they're called.
Okay,
so Lurkers, Mount Lady.
Conway Woods is there.
Conway Woods and Edgeshot.
There's one more there too. I'm blanking on the MS Genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy right next to them between Endeavor and Edgeshot? I'm blanking on that guy.
That's Kami, the wood dude.
Oh, okay. He looks so different from the back. So I'm gonna recognize him.
Yeah, but it seems that they've decided to bring in the superhero team, the Lurkers, since amongst them is the number 4, number 7, and number 23 heroes.
Mm-hmm.
So besides perhaps maybe the team of Midoriya, Endeavor, Best Genius, and Hawks, this is probably the second strongest superhero team in Japan.
Yes, it is.
If you go by the hero rankings and all that stuff, but yeah. But yeah, it probably is the second team, like you're saying, Luckychi.
Man, Deku's looking more like Batman by the day. No, I'm joking about that.
Yeah, definitely with the cape and all that. Definitely with the cape and all that stuff. But yeah, so it seems those three have joined. Team Midoriya in order to apprehend All for One, at least for this operation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We'll get to more questions about that a bit later, but first, let's see. We see this really epic panel of Midoriya's close-up mask face about. Let's see, Midoriya going through, commenting on how they're still able to steal One for All from him. As they enter the building, we see it's empty, and we get a video call, possibly. Let's see.
It's one projected.
Recorded message, I think.
Yeah.
But he's saying how he enjoyed that Q&A with Lady Nugget. Let's see, and he goes if you're seeing this message, that must have been what happened. So, who knows?
To quote a manga reader said in the Paranormal Liberation War podcast we did, he's pretty much influencing the plot.
Yeah, let's see. So yeah, it seems he must have done this video the moment he realized Lady Nugget had failed and all that stuff. So yeah, I must assume. I assume that if she succeeded, he would have been here in person. But yeah,
pretty much.
But yeah, with Endeavor commenting how he should have known this place was deserted and all that stuff. And let's see, we get All for One commenting about how he loves predicting and reading people. And especially a boy like Midoriya, who can never abandon someone to save. Which, from what I could tell, I'm not sure, but given the Midoriya's look on the mask covering thing, but I'm assuming that Midoriya must be either shocked or angry in this panel.
It could be a mix of both.
But it goes on about how she didn't force her and she acted on her own free will. But he goes on about how the poor silver souls who stumble on the road are labeled as villains.
You know what that reminds me of? Do you remember that scene in Teen Titans when Slade was talking to I think it was Beast Boy, right? About like how Terra came to him, and he did all this. Kind of went through that a little bit.
I guess, though I'm going to say something about who All for One reminds me of. First, I'm just going to finish the summary of the chapter.
Go for it.
Let's see, but yeah, because we're gone in 20 minutes, but heck, this is what happens when you and me talk both together, but yeah.
That's okay.
But let's see, he goes on about how the society has tight under control, right or wrong, and all that stuff. Let's see, those who are against the status quo get purged and all that stuff. Let's see, democracy, socialism. Okay, that's an interesting. Let's see, that's interesting. I think that's an interesting. Let's see, that's interesting because I remember in issue translations, I believe the word was fascism, but okay, but that's interesting. We're getting the word socialism in My Hero Academia.
It's the difference you get when you go from scanlations to the official ones.
But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see the English sub and the English dub for the anime to see if they go with the same translation.
That's true.
Yeah. It doesn't matter about what form of it doesn't matter what form of system that's in place, though. I suppose he's using democracy and socialism as the two systems and the ideologies that's supposed to have the most freedom and all that stuff. Because as you know, because I think we all know, democracy is perhaps the best representative system, and for those who may know, you got politicians like that support socialism, like Bernie Sanders and all that stuff in America, as the most fair system for the economy and all that stuff. But yeah. But anyway, but it doesn't. There are no exceptions because the root of all this is human society as a whole. Let's see. And he comments to Midoriya about the path he's chosen is a thorny one. Let's see. About how every battle grind to a soul to no end in sight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And he's now saying that his mind is set on as he says, what his mind was set on this entire time in jail was him. All Might no longer interests him. He's moved on from that great useless oath, as he puts it. Let's see. I just wonder if it's just All for One's habit of just bad-mouthing the predecessor to the current user of All for One just to rile them up.
That makes sense.
But yeah. But,
I mean, well, to be fair, that's kind of a villain thing, though, because even in Naruto, you had okay, it was more okay. Let's be fair, that one was more of a tease than anything. But with the Orochimaru at the not Kanabi Bridge, Heaven and Earth Bridge. I'm looking on the actual name, but you know what I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose, yeah, I know that one. Or I guess you could say the few times when people mocked the fourth Hokage in front of Naruto.
The two.
But yeah. Anyway, and the chapter ends with All for One saying, "Now it's your turn," pointing at him as the building explodes. You think let's see, saying the next chapter will hit June 20th. Not stuff. Leaving a cliffhanger on whether or not Midoriya escaped the explosion enough, which, of course, we all know that he will. But yeah. And that's the end of the chapter.
Here's the thing. If this is where Volume 32 ends, that's perfect. I'm going to say that right now. If this is where Volume 32 ends, that's perfect.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty good way to end the thing. Now, granted, I guess it depends on where... So if 306 is the ends in the previous volume for volume 31, and then I'd say definitely this volume would definitely be the perfect way to end this thing. Now, let's see, to get into some, there's probably a few questions, but I suppose we should talk about some of the stuff we like. I do like how, you get Hawks and Lady Naga talking, given the fact that, since Hawks was her successor for the Hero Commissioner's personal hero to do their dirty jobs and stuff. And she's wondering how is he able to remain hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems for him, it seems like Hawks, for him, it was like Endeavor, and just how much, let's see, from, or at least maybe even his mother, but I'm assuming it's Endeavor because of just what Endeavor, even though Endeavor never realized it, what Endeavor did for him and all that stuff. So it's like, let's see, so yeah, it's nice to see this because everyone remembers Endeavor for the bad stuff he's done, which rightfully so, he should be criticized for that, but
Oh, definitely.
it goes to show here that, let's see, he has done at least some good things that he should at least give him some credit for, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could do, let's see, I mean, I don't, let's see, personally, now, you know, Luckychi, when it comes to politicians like Donald Trump, I do not like him, but I will admit, I will give him credit for at least not starting a new war. So let's see, seems to be a thing that every president seems to do, but no, granted, not saying that he didn't make any of the conflicts that America's currently in any worse or any better. I know I haven't really checked that out, so I can't comment. But yeah, so I guess I'll give him props to that. And let's see, for me in the UK, I don't really like David Cameron. Well, actually, I used to be a supporter, but that changed. But I'll give him credit for like his government allowing gay marriage to happen, be legal now in the UK. Granted, he needed the opposition's votes to get it through. But yeah. So there's that. So yeah, I kind of like, let's see, due to like, but yeah. But I do find like the information that Lady Nugget goes to be quite interesting, especially now that we do have confirmation that, let's see, besides the villains that we've seen at the end of like the war raid arc with the Paranormal Liberation Front.
Yeah.
Let's see, we do have other, let's see, unknown villains that are teaming up with All for One and that stuff, which, let's see, is a bit, and some of these shadow alerts make them quite intimidating, let's see, so it makes you wonder who they are amongst those 10,000 escaped convicts. If I had to guess, they're most of his former followers that All Might put in, because, let's see, that was one of the reasons All for One hated All Might. Granted, there could also be some other infamous villains that we do not know about yet. So yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I suppose that's like I think I said in the previous stream when we were discussing is one of the strong perks of having a manga series based on superheroes and supervillains is that you're always able to bring in new supervillains, because that's always been a bit of a problem for most shonen mangas. Like, once a group of villains has been defeated, if they haven't built up enough, let's see, you run out of villains.
Naruto.
Yeah, that being one example. But yeah, so there are probably some other examples, but that's the one that I'm coming straight to mind. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I do like, let's see, and another thing I kind of like is, of course, we talked about it a bit earlier, but let's see, the stuff with Overhaul and Midoriya, let's see, given the state that he's in, he's like, I just want to see the boss, let me say I'm sorry, but Midoriya's like thinking, let's see, can't you say the same stuff to Eri?
That's fair. No, legit, it's fair. It's like, okay, say the same thing to Eri, and then we're cool.
Yeah, well, of course, Overhaul's not really thinking about the bad things he does. He's just thinking about what he could use Eri's powers to do, which I assume possibly restore the boss, or maybe even his arms. Now, I assume that's probably going to be the boss, but yeah.
Probably.
So yeah, it says like, but Midoriya makes an offer to him to say like, if you go to apologize to Eri, I'll make sure you get to see the boss and stuff. So it's like making a deal with him. Now, granted, let's see, it's interesting because, let's see, in the translations, the early ones, apparently that he was going to do it regardless of, let's see, but here he's like saying, but he's trying to like, but in this translation here, it's like saying that, okay, I'm willing to, let's see, keep Lady Nugget's deal with you if you go and apologize to Eri and stuff. Possibly give some sort of closure to that, at least maybe help with so many insecurities. But it's going to be very interesting to see Overhaul interacting with Eri because, well, I'm pretty certain, let's see, because, well, Aries seems to have, let's see, starting to heal from her trauma. I'm just wondering, like, how she will react seeing Overhaul again, because I assume that she'd probably be a bit terrified of him still.
I don't think it would go well, truth be told.
Granted, she might, who knows, maybe she might take pity on him given his current state and desperation. But, or maybe she might finally see just how pathetic he is and all that stuff, and there's no longer reasons to be afraid of her. I'm not sure. But I assume that, let's see, this chapter means that hopefully we'll get to see Eri and the other UA students again soon.
Yeah.
Now, granted, whether or not Midoriya will be there, I'm not sure, given the fact that he's still on his mission of stopping All for One and Shigaraki. Let's see, I think we've already kind of commented about, of how he's, escaped the villains, so we don't really need to do any more comments on that when we were summarizing the chapter, but it's nice to see him, A-okay after the encounter, anyway. Anyway, one thing I want to, make comment on is that, is the lurkers. I kind of like how they've, the heroes are being serious to the situation and like bringing some more of the top 10 heroes, at least the ones that seem to be left since Crust died and that old dude I think ended up resigning, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like 8 of like so there's like 8 hero, 8 of the top 10 still active. And we currently have at least, I assume at least 5 on the scene. I'm not sure about the other, 3. I think the washing dude is still, probably out on patrols or maybe recovering a bit. The bunny girl, I'm trying to remember her name.
America?
Yeah, Merca, I think. She's probably still either recovering or probably looking for villains elsewhere. And who was the last one? I don't remember. Let's see, pro heroes. I don't know. Let me just check the list. Let's see, number 4. All right, Mirako, Wash. Oh yeah, it's Ryuki. Number 10. I forgot the dragon lady. I wonder. Let's see, she's recovering right now as well, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, though. I have to admit, there's one thing I'm just curious about. Since, due to the fact that 2 of the top heroes are either dead or retired, does that automatically make Gang, Orca, and Shinso back in the top, and Shishado back in the top 10?
It might.
Let's see, so yeah. Oh yeah, and it seems like the number 11th hero is also no longer active. Did he die, or?
Who knows?
I think that was Majestic. Right? Oh yeah, Majestic was number 11, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. It says he's deceased. I don't know. I really got. Or that, or the number 11th hero is yet to be, revealed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So at the moment we have no idea. So granted, I guess the number 11th hero rather than Shisuda would be in amongst the top 10. But yeah, so we've definitely got probably a new ranking of the top 10. So I guess that might mean that Kami Woods might actually be the number 6th hero. But yeah, but anyway, going back to the thing. Let's see. Since the Lurkers are here, and with Endeavor and Midoriya and stuff, it makes me wonder if they know the secret of like One for All or not, or they just know or not, or they're just being told that he's just on patrol with them and stuff. I don't know. I'm very curious about what they know about Midoriya's situation.
Same too. Truth be told.
I guess we'll find out possibly in the next chapter and all that stuff. So, but yeah. But I am intrigued since these lot are here, they must know something about Midoriya, about why he's here.
Yeah.
Because, let's see, All Might did tell the top 3 heroes about the situation, so who knows if he tells any of the top heroes, but yeah. But yeah, I do like how Midoriya's just like you. This look in his eye of being determined to finally capture All for One, and even though they don't meet face to face, this is the first conversation between the big bad and Midoriya.
Definitely.
I mean, it took 316 chapters, but they're finally having a conversation. But yeah. But yeah, I'm liking it. But yeah.
Now, here's something I want to ask you. Given the cliffhanger, what do you think are the chances of us cutting over to, say, Ochiko, Bakugo, and Todoroki?
I'll answer that question in a bit, but there's just some things I want to just comment on All for One first. But yeah, yeah. I kind of like how All for One just goes like, just talks about how, even though he was responsible for what's Legonat's current decision, he says that she chose it and it's the fault of society and stuff. And goes on about no matter what kind of system society has, either democracy for the choice of leaders or socialism, the sort of ideology in which is supposed to be the most fair and equal society, with stuff like healthcare, education, workers' rights, and all that stuff. He says that no matter what, there's always going to be those people chosen that will be discriminated against and all that stuff, or judged wrong. But I do like how he says, now that he's been in prison, ever since he's been confirmed, who All Might's successor is, his focus is now on him. He no longer cares about All Might because, well, he's powerless and he doesn't need to do anything to him. Rather than maybe just possibly kill him to just, upset Midoriya. And he's just and he uses his All Might's own words of now it's your turn on Midoriya, because I assume that he must have heard All Might say it. Maybe he heard the news reports about it. But maybe it's in a way of just mocking Midoriya. It's now it's your turn. It's I'm coming for you now as the building explodes and all that stuff. So yeah, I have to admit, you know how All for One has been compared in appearance-wise to Darth Vader, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I feel like the last few weeks, I've been thinking, well, All for One, maybe appearance-wise, at least when he's wearing the mask and the helmet thing, is it's being compared to Darth Vader. I think he's more in terms of type of villain he is, he reminds me of Palpatine.
I have seen that comparison going around since I'd even argue since the Paranormal Liberation
War
started. Yeah, but no, I could very well see it. In truth be told,
you can't see it.
I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, granted, with the whole Paranormal Liberation War, that thing of him wanting to possess Shigaraki's body, that's more of a Orochimaru thing. But in many ways, All for One with Shigaraki seems to remind me of his relation. Definitely reminds me of the relationship with Vader and Palpatine have with the Sith, with the Sith kind of thing, where All for One clearly wants to be the dominant force in the thing, rule forever and all that stuff. But if his apprentice / successor kind of thing can surpass him, he would gladly accept it. Which I think, because we know that Palpatine wants to be the Star Wars, the dominant force in the galaxy. But that one quick conversation he had with Yoda during their duel says, "You will not stop me. Darth Vader will become more powerful than either of us," implying, I think, that if Anakin proves to be the stronger, he probably will gladly accept it and stuff. So it's kind of like that. But the way All for One is just manipulating people, he really is reminding me of Palpatine. And just the lack of regard he has for people's well-beings and stuff. But anyway, Luckychi, you said you had a question for me.
Yeah. I was just saying that, based on the cliffhanger of the chapter, what do you think are the chances of Koei being an absolute dick and cutting over to, say, Ochiko, Bakugo, and Todoroki for the next arc, assuming if this arc is already finished?
Let's see. I'm not sure, but yeah, but it'd be very interesting. It's like, let's see, it would be kind of like a let's see, no, Koei, you slick. Oh, I can't really say it. You sly dog, you. I mean, you son of a gun. Let's see. You finally bring Ochiko, Ida, let's see, Shoto, and Bakugo back, but you do it in the one time when we want to have the focus on Midoriya. But yeah, let's see. It's like, is Midoriya right and all that stuff? But yeah. But
like imagine if like say this is how the arc ends. The next arc is about them, I don't know, finding wherever Deku's at.
But yeah, but at the moment, I'd say it's probably 50-50 at the moment. I mean, it's very possible that we just see, let's see, Midoriya come back. Let's see, Midoriya and Endeavor survive thing, and then let's see, you have like, let's see, them recovering and all that stuff, and then talking about the next operation and all that stuff. Let's see, and or you could like, let's see, what the next move is, and the arc either continues or concludes there. Or you could possibly have the next chapter with like, let's see, being about, let's see, the 1A classes, and let's see if there's some comments about what's been going on with Midoriya since Midoriya's left and stuff during the possibly either a summary of what's gone on in 2 months, and talking about where they're going now with like a news report of like what's just happened and all that stuff.
Yeah, personally,
or it could be a mix of both.
I'd say this. Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing the other class, but personally, I would just want the focus to stay on Deku.
But it's very possible that, let's see, Koei could do both in a way and have Midoriya, let's see, escape and all that stuff. Midoriya, I mean, survive the explosion, comment on his next move. And then in the last few pages, you have the Class 1A students, let's see, showing up and all that stuff back in school, and implying that this arc has ended and we're going out and the next arc is going to be on these lot. So it's very possible that it does that. So yeah, it's very possible that this arc is now concluded, which will be interesting because then it's like, this arc is definitely going to be like 1 volume's worth of chapters, because normally, now granted, that not to say that doesn't happen. I mean, most chapters for My Hero Academia usually end up being 10, 12, or 11, but it's rarely been, exact number of 10 or something, which you can get into a volume. Now granted, I think most volumes tend to have 9 chapters if it's weekly. So yeah, it's very, let's see, so yeah, I'm not sure if like chapters 307 to 316, that would be up to 9 chapters, right? Oh wait, hold on a second, I'm just getting prepped. Hold on, let me just say. Okay, it seems like Luckychi says that he'll be right back for a bit, so I'm going to have to comment on my thoughts a bit more here for a bit, people, so, anyway, so yeah, so, let's see, I believe the current arc is like, I think 9 or 10 chapters, which I think that's often an average of My Hero Academia, and that usually ends up being like 5 episodes or something. So this could be like the starter for like a season 7, or let's see, season 7 or season 8, depending on how they pace the Paranormal Liberation War arc, I guess. I mean, granted, for I know, it could be like the later half of season 8, or like, I mean, season 7. Yeah, it's probably season 7 or season 8. So yeah. So that, and anyway, oh boy. Let's see, other things that I kind of like to comment on. Let's see. Given how dirty Midoriya's clothes, if I assume that since like he's probably gonna like, if he does survive the explosion, well, I expect him to keep like his current mask, clothing, and all that stuff. I expect he'll probably let's see, if his clothing gets damaged enough, he might get new clothing and all that stuff. Let's see, at least let's see with paired clothing, if he's going low, he's probably still keep the cape, but who knows? It really depends on how long Koei wants to keep Midoriya and his like rugged Batman-like look thing. So there's that. But granted, for all I know, is that let's see, all full. Let's see that the chapter. Let's see, might not the next chapter might not be either Midoriya or the Class 1A students. It might even be the League of Villains, and we learn what they've been doing while for the last 10 or so chapters since Midoriya's left school, and it focuses on what All For One wants to do for his next plan and all that stuff. So there may be that, and yeah. So yeah. Oh boy. I hope Luckychi is back soon. I'm running out of stuff to say. So yeah. And let's see. So yeah. Let's see. I am very curious to see. Granted, I'm very curious to see let's see how far this explosion is, because I'm wondering, because it seems to just be the building, but I'm just wondering, let's see if any of the heroes have been long distance, far reached out enough to not get caught in the blast or not. I assume not, because I think they'll probably go like, Midoriya! Endeavor! Let's see, and shouting like, worried that are they all right or not, and all that stuff. So there's that. And oh boy. Worst time to Luckychi, worst time to let's see, need to go somewhere. As I am just about really ran out of stuff to talk to, and I just need to conclude the thing, but I need you here to do that. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Okay.
Oh, you're back.
Sorry about the wait. It was just a little brief.
Okay, so enough that I was stalling and all that stuff, so anyway, I believe the current arc, if the arc ends on this chapter, it'll be officially 9 chapters, which is usually a volume's worth, right? Was it 10?
Let's see here. Usually it's 10. So if and this is the thing, if 306 ends up being the final chapter in volume 31, not only is it perfect because the first volume opens up with Deku saying, "Oh, hey, look, it's a giant villain," and then you end up volume 31 with the same, same wording, but it's, it's in a totally different context now.
Fair enough.
And ending up volume 32 with this chapter actually does work in a lot of ways, and like you said, it's 10 chapters.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So anyways, this is probably like the first volume with like of a manga series I know that covers an entire arc in one volume. If they do it like that, since
that's assuming this arc is done, which I'm not gonna say 100% that it's done yet.
The only manga series I can think that have done something similar would be Naruto with the spin-off, let's see, Naruto Gaiden, which did an entire arc in one volume. But we're not exactly fans of that volume, but yeah. I have no interest in buying it either. Let's see, but yeah. So yeah. Let's see. Anything else you want to say, Luckychi, about this arc and all that stuff? Or
for the chapter, not really. I think that's all I'm gonna say for the time being.
Yeah. So I pretty much assume that it's going to either be Midoriya focused again next week or Class 1A, though granted, for we know, Corey might surprise us and go with like Mitzi focus on the League of Villains to see what they're up to and all that stuff.
Although, actually, that reminds me, I need to double check on something because I came across this earlier, and I'll touch on this because somebody mentioned this on Twitter, and it's supposed to be the teaser for 317, right?
Yeah.
So this is what it says. The teaser says, "The final act is in full swing now. What exactly is the formidable foe that appears before Deku?" That's the teaser for 317. So
So am I implying that this explosion is caused by a villain?
The question is who?
Well, as far as I know, we don't know any exploding villains. I mean, the only person we know with exploding powers in My Hero is Bakugo. I doubt he's turned to the dark side.
What exactly is the formidable foe? It's gonna keep me guessing for a bit.
Let's see. One I can think of that has flame power similar would probably be Darby, but I assume that Koei probably wants to save Darby for a bit later with Endeavor and Shoto in the picture.
You think it could be Deku's father? I mean, we do know that he is a flame user. You know that.
That would be interesting, but we have no idea if he's actually a villain or not. But it would be pretty shocking if he is a villain after all.
It would, wouldn't it?
But yeah. But I think this is. But I think let's see one thing I probably. But speaking as father, I think this chapter probably at least confirmed thing is that, you know how some people have theorized that All for One is Midoriya's father,
which is not the case.
It seems that this chapter is probably all but guaranteed to confirm that this theory is dead. It's not true. It's not, since this seems to be the first time that All for One has talked to Midoriya and Midoriya in his entire life.
Pretty much.
So yeah, I mean, I know some people have been. I've wondered if this could have been a possibility myself. Though I was not decide if it was a good thing or bad thing. I'm not sure how many people were enthusiastic about this idea, but those that are disappointed, I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed because that's no longer the case. And for me, it's like, oh well, I'm fine with it and stuff. So yeah,
it is what it is.
So yeah, that theory has been confirmed. That theory has been confirmed dead in the case. Well, not to know if anyone's ever said that theory. It might just be me thinking about it, but I'm sure someone else might have had that theory at least.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Have you ever heard that theory spouted about in the fandom?
When he first popped up, I saw that theory being mentioned, but you know.
Let's see, but not in recent years, fair enough. So it's a theory that we've dined down over the years, but this is the final nail in the coffin for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's time we get to the overall score. I think I'll give this one a 9 out of 10. I would have given it 9.5, but the only thing that kind of doesn't stop me from doing it is the fact that it doesn't really make it clear if 2 months have passed or not.
Interesting, because for my own rating, and I mentioned this in my analysis video, I gave it the amazing rating, which is actually close to a 9 out of 10. And the only reason why I gave it that was because the transition just felt off from what happened with laying the gun and then transitioning over to the mansion. I was like, okay, I can see how that makes sense, but it's odd, you know?
You could at least put like the words 2 months later, but you know what would be kind of funny is the fact that, let's see, in this final act begins, the months go by real quick, even though it took like 2 sagas for 1 year to go by. It's like, let's see, 1 year goes by pretty fast in Act 3, in the like the third, and like in the final saga.
I mean, I wouldn't complain. I mean, it would be hilarious, but in the long run, I think it would be funny because then it's gonna be like, so we went through 30 volumes for just 1 year, and then now we're just blitzing through time.
Yeah. But who knows? But yeah, but I suppose there are some benefits for having like it's the time span to go a bit faster as the characters get a bit older. That means they should be more stronger. So yeah.
Yep.
Especially the students of 1A. But yeah. So yeah, but overall, yeah, 9 out of 10. I like the stuff with like, let's see, Hawks and Naga, Lady Naga, and the conversation between Midoriya and All for One. And it makes me excited for the next chapter, which will hit this week, which is good because One Piece is on a break this week. That gives me more time to review the chapter for One Piece, which I'll probably either do tomorrow or later in the week. But anyway, I'm Blue Star Saber.
I'm Luckychi.
And we are signing off. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra.
and we're done.